The scene can be broken down into 5 distinct auditory phases. The eerie calm, the dream. Visuals. Maximus walking peacefully through a golden wheat field, touching the stalks. A robin lands, looks at him, and then flies away. He watches it go with a slight, peaceful smile. Sound analysis. Non-diegetic music, a slow, melancholic, and haunting vocal theme by Lisa Gerard dominates. It's peaceful but infused with deep sadness and longing. Diegetic sound. The robin, the clear, crisp sound of the bird's chirp and the distinct flapping of its wings are the most prominent diegetic sounds. These are sharp, close, and intimate. The children, the distant, playful laughter and faint, indistinct voices of children. The environment, the gentle breeze and the subtle rustling of the wheat form the base layer of the soundscape. This soundscape is meticulously crafted to establish Maximus's inner world. The flapping of the robin's wings and its chirp ground the dream in a tangible, sensory reality, making it feel vivid and immediate. The bird often symbolizes a spirit or a messenger. Here, it seems to represent the soul and freedom of the home life he yearns for. Its flight away from him visually and audibly leads his gaze and ours across the field, seamlessly transitioning to the next auditory element, the children's voices. Together, these sounds, the bird, the children, the wheat, create a powerful auditory triptych of his deepest desires: freedom, family, and home. The abrupt loss of this complex soundscape in the next phase is what makes the transition to the battlefield so emotionally violent. We aren't just leaving a quiet place. We are being torn away from a rich, idyllic, and deeply personal world. The ritual of command, Germania. Dominant diegetic sound. The non-diegetic dream music is completely gone. The soundscape is now hyper-realistic and immersive. The crunch of his boots on the gravel is loud and close. The clinking and rustling of his own leather and metal armor as he moves. The nervous breathing of the soldiers. The subtle, off-screen sounds of the forest, a distant bird cry, the wind through the pine trees. Visuals. A tight, handheld shot follows Maximus from behind as he walks slowly through the ranks of his soldiers. He touches a soldier's shoulder, checks a shield, and makes quiet, personal contact. The atmosphere is tense and cold. On-screen dialogue. At this point, there is no rousing speech. His communication is quiet, personal, and physical, a grunt of reassurance, the touch of a hand. The lack of grand words makes the scene feel more authentic and tense. The touch of the soil. Visuals. A handheld shot follows Maximus as he walks silently through the ranks. He pauses, kneels down, and runs his bare hand through the cold soil and grass. There is a brief moment of relative quiet, filled only by the ambient tension, wind, distant sounds. The dog's growl is not just an ambient sound, it is an active auditory event. It functions as a vocal, almost verbal, promise of the violence to come. Sound analysis. The soundscape is hyper-realistic and intimate, dominated by close-up diegetic sounds, the loud crunch of his boots on the frozen ground, the clinking and rustling of his armor. Maximus' speech. Maximus prepares his troops in a cold, misty forest. He gives a speech and walks the battle line. On-screen dialogue. Maximus's speech is calm, focused, and clear. His words, "What we do in life echoes in eternity," are an anchor point. Off-screen sound. We hear the ambient sounds of the massive army around him, establishing its scale and tension. Why is this important? This phase uses sound to build tension and establish the Roman army's discipline and order. The abrupt shift from dream to reality is jarring. The chaos of combat. This is the most complex phase, where all sound elements collide to create sensory overload. Part A, the signal to attack. Visuals, the Germanic tribes charge. Maximus gives the signal. Sound. The tension breaks with the diegetic roar of the barbarians, a mix of on and off-screen sound. Maximus's command, unleash hell, is the catalyst. The sound of the first flaming arrow being loosed is sharp and clear, followed by the whoosh of hundreds more, largely off-screen. Transitioning into the non-diegetic music, the battle score by Hans Zimmer kicks in, a driving, rhythmic, and aggressive piece with pounding drums and brass. Part B, immersion in the melee. Visuals, rapid, disorienting cuts of close-up combat. Sound, this is where the engulfment is achieved. Layered diegetic effects. The soundtrack becomes a dense, chaotic mix of on and off-screen sounds. The metallic clang of swords on screen. The wet, visceral thuds of blows landing on flesh on screen. The screams and cries of men and horses, both on and off screen. And the roaring inferno of fire. Off-screen sound. Crucially, the battle sounds continue relentlessly outside the frame. You are constantly aware that the violence extends in every direction, making the world feel vast and dangerous. Music as emotional guide. The non-diegetic music continues underneath it all, but it's not melodic. It's a rhythmic, pounding force that elevates the adrenaline and the epic scale of the conflict, preventing it from being mere noise. It guides the audience's emotion from horror to a kind of thrilling intensity.